So we are back. It is July. It is the 4th. Depending on where you are, you may be observant of the holiday, or it may just be a summer day for you. However, I wish on this day that you stay independently positive. And when I mean independently positive, I mean how you choose to feel your best. What's up, Reese? How are you? I love the hearts because I love a turquoise heart. So thank you for that. Thank you for liking the live, share the live. You know it's going to be pretty good, of course. I am enjoying the day in the sun with my family, planning to hop in the pool and continue to take in the beauty in this day, because it is a beautiful day. Every day to me, there's something that I can learn from the day. And I started this with saying, regardless if you are in the US and observing what the day means to you, or anywhere else in the world, observe how you can grow in this day. Observe the beauty in this day and how it speaks to you. The day will speak to us all individually differently. However, when we allow it to speak to us, hello, Counselor Cat Mom. Thank you. Yeah, let's talk about that. A lot of, again, I was always comfortable with flying because I traveled often as a child. My father loved to travel, and he felt that that was, thank you, Bill. I appreciate that. He felt that that was pivotal for our growth as human beings, just to have your mind expanded. In addition, I witnessed him be patient and the results that that leads you. The additional layer is me being a flight attendant for 15 years. I had DC, London, New York, JFK, San Fran. I was based in 5 different bases, both domestically and internationally, and taking voyages. I don't say traveling. Voyaging is one of my passions. So all of those combined I believe I have a in-depth take on travel. Initially, I always say, allow yourself time. Allow yourself time. And this is with life too. However, in the traveling space, the lack of time will incredibly increase your anxiety and your discomfort. That is fantastic. Okay, so we're going to, I'm going to get back to this travel, but I'm calling you in. You're not scared. You're not scared, and you don't try. What do you do? What is trying? You either do or you don't. To stay positive means I may have some discomfort. I am weaning myself off of, thank you, Zovenzite. I am weaning myself off of one of the most powerful substances, which is nicotine. You can say that to yourself, thank you, and still say, and I can do it. Will it be uncomfortable? Sure, so what? And I can do it. Is it a feat and a task that I see for myself? Yes. Will there be some battles that I may have to encounter while ending this addiction? Sure. And you will do it. Congratulations at 9 hours. Take it day by day. It's not about being scared. Because what are you afraid of? That you're going to explode? That's not going to happen. There she is. Thank you, Mag. However, give yourself the grace, give yourself the time and the respect for even stepping into the space to say, I no longer want this for my health, for my life, for me. For me. What's up, Nikki? Good to see you. So if you're ceasing nicotine, that is a beautiful space. What's up, Carrie? And accept that there will be discomfort. It's nicotine. It's one of the most addictive substances. So what? You're worth it. You can do it. You have everything in you to continue. So I support you on that. My moon sign is Virgo. Back to traveling. Allow yourself time. Allow yourself time. As a voyager, I don't say I'm a traveler and the former flight attendant, time will bring you clarity and comfort. It is a lot easier if you're in security and you have 120 minutes to make it to your gate compared to what's up. My youngest sister is a Virgo. I appreciate Virgos. Opposed to having 20 minutes trying to get through security, trying to get a coffee, trying to get yourself together. Allow yourself more than enough time. Now, I no longer have the access to just walk through the airport as I did when I was a flight attendant. However, I always give myself 2 hours. I give myself 2 hours from the time I arrive at the airport to the time that my flight is leaving. For me, more than enough time. I'd rather sit and wait than rush. I don't care for that. I also do a meditation beforehand and I speak it into existence that my travel day is going to be non-eventful. Every person that I engage with will be helpful and beneficial, and that I will be hydrated and rested and just an easy travel day. Anything outside of that isn't for me. Along with that, Thank you. What's up, Ziggy Ann? Yeah, Nikki, I'll wait. It makes no sense to just rush, especially during summertime travel. I pack very light. I eat very light. I bring my food. I usually make a salad and bring some dried fruit and bring like a sandwich. I make all of my stuff, including tea bags. So the only thing that I really need is hot water. Fantastic, Ziggy, fantastic. I hope it gets to marvelous. Good is okay, but it better get to marvelous. I don't know. Here we go. I don't think about that. I don't think about why someone's chronically late. I don't know. Mag will probably laugh at this, and I don't care. What's up, 1%? I have a sister who's chronically late and rushing. However, how you do one thing is how you do everything. If it is something productivity-wise, if it's something speaking, if it's something where I'm expected to be in a professional manner, I'm always well ahead of time. Oh, lovely mangoes. Oh, lovely. I have some actually here at my parents' house. If it is my personal life, I allow myself up to 10 minutes of lateness. Like if I'm meeting someone for a tea or a restaurant date, up to 10 minutes. However, but I like being within a comfortable time. And listen, the airport experience can be daunting to individuals. There's some people that have not been in the airport as regularly as I have. So I understand, and packing and the whole process can be somewhat unfamiliar and uncomfortable, and security, and then because it is summer travel and there's an abundance of people, I do what I do to keep myself in my best mind space. So even if someone is complaining, I don't hear it. I really live this. I don't know if you've understood, but that profession allowed me to build this protective barrier. because you are walking past a lot of people. There's a lot of exchange. However, to hydrate, I start hydrating. I drink a lot of water either way, but a day or two before, because a lot of that tiredness and irritability is just because you're not hydrated. And if you notice on the flights, flight attendants always have 1.5-liter bottles of water. We drink one or two, sometimes three of them during a flight, because you are not receiving the moisture that you put out. So when you breathe out, there's moisture that is emitted from your body that's not coming back in because of the low humidity in the cabin. So I recommend hydrating throughout the day, specifically before and after. Traveling takes a lot out of you. It's a lot of movement, it's a lot of sound, it's just a lot of moving pieces, and some of us connect things to travel. Maybe discomfort or irritability. You may pick up somebody's bad mood. I'm not going to do that. I do what I can to stay in my elevated space. I speak positivity into my elevated space. And once I'm complete with my travel day, I do eat light, I hydrate, and I rest. And me, as well as a lot of the other flight attendants, thank you. Immediately, I have to wash the plane off of me as soon as I come off the flight. I like to physically wash the plane off and say, I'm washing the plane off me. I'm washing any energy that I picked up in the airport. I'm washing off any interactions. I'm clearing it, and I'm ready for what's next. So those are my tips. I also, what else? In my travel bag, I always have like wet wipes or just wipes, hand sanitizer, lotion, or Aquaphor, or like there's this French cream that I use. Whoa, that's a lot of hearts. I love that. Thank you. That I use on my hands, that I use on my lips, that I use under my nose. Like if I have a runny nose and I'm using a lot of Kleenex, I always have Kleenex or tissue in a bag that's close to me. I always have like a Kind bar or granola bars or some sort of snacks. I always have Lysol spray. I always have all my chargers. I always have a notepad, a book, mints, and like Crest spray, because this was the worst. As a flight attendant, if you were flying all night and then you do the arrival service, yes, mini Ziploc. I love Ziploc bags for everything. The mini ones, the big ones, I love Ziploc, and even plastic bags. Now, being here in California or even in Hawaii, we don't have plastic bags. So plastic bags is it's a luxury item. However, I always pack grocery plastic bags in my suitcase because they're great for wrapping shoes, they're great for storing dirty clothes, they're great for storing wet swimsuits. They're just great preventing spills, maybe all sorts of things. What else do I keep in my bag? See, I always have certain things in my bag. I always have plastic grocery bags. I always have a first aid kit. So I always have bandages, both small, large, antiseptic wipes, Neosporin. And I hardly ever fall ill, but I always pack, because when you're traveling, especially internationally, it's quite easy to go to a pharmacy. However, different medications have different names when you're traveling. So I often would keep aspirin. Well, listen, if you fall ill outside of a country, it's it's pivotal to have what you need, whether it's Imodium AD, Benadryl, a pain reliever, sleep medication, all of those things. Mahalo, mahalo. I keep all of that with me. I always have a manicure set because you never know when you need a manicure. So I always have my top coat, bottom coat, nail clippers, file, nail color. I always have a travel adapter. I always have some money stashed into my suitcase. Yeah, I typically have a Swiss Army knife because my father would always carry one, so I usually have one with a corkscrew and all of that. A lighter, matches. I used to keep candles because I traveled so much and I was always in a hotel, so it's felt like a familiar space when I would light a candle in my hotel room. Now I typically have Palo Santo or incense, something like that, just to clear the space. And well, I was a flight attendant for 15 years. Come on, you learn. That scent creates a space. I keep a stash of cash inside my carry-on because, yeah, well, my hotel rooms would usually have towels on the bathroom floor. I never would touch the floor. As soon as I would come in, yes, you can, because I always bring my knitting needles. You can. I never touch hotel floors. As soon as I would come in and take off my flight shoes, I would immediately put on flip-flops that I would wear on carpeted areas, as well as the bathroom, as well as the shower. I never touched the floors. In fact, even on the bathroom counter, I would lay out a towel to put my toothbrush and floss and everything. As I said, would put cash into my carry-on because as a flight attendant, there were, I think, 2 times where I left my little wallet at home. And then I landed and got to the hotel and was like, oh my gosh, I don't have my cards or anything. And this is prior to Apple Pay. So it would be different now because we have electronic payment systems. Yeah, I love to knit. When I would fly, if I wasn't reading, I would be knitting. And I love to knit. And plus people come and talk to you like, hey, what are you knitting? Well, that happens. Yeah, that happens. It happens. Actually, I don't want to say that that's the best thing that can happen, but in these times, especially if you fall ill, there's something that's grown. Hi, grown. What's up, Jessica? Tell me about your increased healing. I love to hear. There's something that grows when you are abroad and maybe not in the best space because it is very foreign, but something has grown within. And I haven't fallen ill too much while traveling. Only one time. I can think of the time where I was ran over by a motorcycle in Buenos Aires. One time I had Montezuma's Revenge when I was in, I think, Playa del Carmen. And I was in Tokyo once and randomly fell ill, but I think it was, Tokyo has great medications, by the way. Tokyo has everything. Great, excellent. And certain countries do have fantastic medications that, like, whatever's going on, it'll just take it right off. It could be, but at the same time, it could be many things. Everything is different when you're in a different country. Thank you, Elite. It could be the water. It could be the snack that he ate. It could just be simply the germs that are new that he's not used to. So Well, no, actually, in the U.S., watch out for the water. It's not most places. Let me ask you, Tone Loc, how many places have you been? Because in the order of how clean and pure water is, the US isn't at the top of the list. So it's not always water, it's just that our bodies are in a completely different environment with completely different microorganisms and germs, and our body has to adjust as well. And there's a beauty in it, and then you learn and you realize, and you go on. However, the US water isn't stellar. All it takes is traveling to understand that. Oh, thank you. Um, that is excellent. Thank you, Jessica. Well, where are you referring to, Tone Loc? Because this is a blanket statement. I don't know where you're referring to. Um, Well, that could be it as well. That could be it as well. However, street food, listen, I- I'm, I'm not traveling anywhere to fear what I'm going to eat and drink. Again, coming from well, have you been to these places, Tone Loc? Or is this just from your own perspective? Uh, because that hasn't been the case for me, and I've been to all of these places that you've mentioned several times, more than 50, well, probably more than 100 times. However, making the assumption that and it depends where. The water in Japan is different from the water in Vietnam. The water in Beijing is different from the water in Hong Kong. And oftentimes it's just our bodies adjusting. If you've only been drinking the water and eating the food in one location, and I'm making this up, this is arbitrary, so only Chicago, and you go to Brazil, there's going to be a difference. Oftentimes you won't fall completely sick. Some people do. It all depends on your body. I don't believe it's a one size covers all. I believe it's our bodies and our immune systems, and what we have been accustomed to. However, the only time I haven't ever, aside from Montezuma's Revenge, I haven't fallen sick. Um, and I love street food. The only place I was cautious was in India. Outside of that, in Hong Kong, I love the street food. It's fantastic. There's everything throughout Asia. I don't think about that, Jessica. I don't. If that's for someone, then that's for someone. Sure, sure, absolutely. And I think we've traveled just as much. However, I most people are overly cautious, I believe, when they travel every anyway. Um, yeah, I don't care about that, to be completely honest, Jessica. That has very little to do with my life. Okay. Well, then I hope I I okay. So again, when travel, there's no need to apologize. You've done nothing wrong. It just doesn't have any relevance for me. So I don't put any focus to that. With traveling, just feeling good before you get there may change the trajectory of your experience. Meaning, instead of leaving the house thinking, oh my gosh, I don't want to fly. I'm tired of flying. It's going to be terrible. This is going to be a great day. I'm excited to fly. Everything's working out for me. I'm going to get an upgrade. There's going to be an empty seat next to me. I am calm, cool, and collected, and everything that happens to me while I'm at the airport is in my favor. Try that. Try that. Good afternoon, DJ Lindy. Thank you, thank you. Good to see you too. Because again, it's all perfect. It's what you tell yourself. It's what you tell yourself. And I would have people come on the plane and they would say, oh, I know you've probably had 10 people be rude to you. No, I haven't. No. People aren't rude to me. And if they are, I probably didn't listen. It is not that easy to take me out of my space. And when I travel now, it is a lot different because I'm like on the other side. However, it is more observant, and I do talk a lot. I do usually talk to everyone. Yeah, of course, that's the thing that I love. My parents did a hot drink run this morning, which is lovely. This is why I enjoy seeing the family, because I wake up and someone comes and takes my coffee or tea order. I'm calling you in, not calling you out. If someone is cooking rose petals and selling them as chips, great. Maybe that helps their mental health. However, it doesn't have anything to do with me. It doesn't benefit me in any way. And it's not something that is useful in my life. And I ask myself that. If those three questions are no, then I don't care. Everyone's nice to me, Tone Loc. So I make the assumption that everyone who engages with me is going to love me. Thank you, Doc. Thank you. That is intentional. Yeah, I don't go anywhere thinking that people are mean or rude. I don't know that. There's nothing to substantiate that until it proves true. But if it doesn't, then I just don't carry it. And again, continue to heal, and thank you. Focus on what's for you, Jessica. The rest isn't. I love you too. Let's see, have I ever had anyone mean? Probably not. I also don't really give that off. I don't give that off. Thank you, James. Thank you, James in Florida. I love Florida oranges. They're just as delicious as the California oranges. I also don't travel really too much peak travel season. This is why I'm here with my parents. What's up, Cassandra? Good to see you. It's just too many people, and my niece would say, it's too many people. I'm off season. I know the travel waves, and I'm off season. Usually my summer travel will start September, late August. Because if you're going to Europe, all the Europeans have left because they have time off that's compensated. So if you're in Italy right now or going to Capri or any of these Italian islands, you'll hear just a lot of English from Americans because it's Americans, and the Italians have left. Same with France. July, most people have gone to their summer homes in the south of France, or they're traveling throughout Europe or to the US. So if you're in France, you will hear just a lot of Americans. And it's just different. Now, if you go during September, most of the French people or Italian people are back from holiday. And so you will actually see a difference. And I know this because when I lived in London, I would often holiday in the south of France, south of Italy, and Greece, and these places. However, also as a flight attendant, I was doing this weekly, and you could even see the difference. July for me is not the travel destination, especially for Europe. July is just peak travel season. So end of August, September, even October. October, it's still warm. It may cool down a little, but tourists are gone. And the places that I go, most people would not even know. They would not know where the city is. They would not know. I'm not going to these big name destinations. I'm often visiting friends that reside in these countries, or places that I've wanted to see on my own, which are far off the travel path. Now, also, places like South America, Brazil, it's winter right now. So that can actually be a nice time to go. It's not winter as in it's snowing, but it is a bit cooler because it is south of the equator. So the seasons are switched, just like Australia. Croatia is quite nice. Cyprus, Malta, there's other places. If I'm in Italy, I have a funny story about Italy. So I've been to several cities within Italy, and I love my bike. I always talk about my bikes. I love Ireland too. I mean, when I lived in the UK, Ireland's just north. So I have done Dublin and Shannon and I think somewhere else. Ireland is quite beautiful. So what's up, Ireland? Yes, I have been a couple times. And I lived in the UK for 7 years. So yes, I'm aware of that. And thank you for saying that, because most Americans do not know geography. Sure. Okay, west of the UK. Excellent. Yes, I have been, and I lived in London for several years. So I was holidaying or vacationing with two of my girlfriends, and let me tell you this. When you go on holiday, 4 is great, especially with a group of girls, because 2 people can be off and 2 people can be off. But if you have 3, there can be that odd person out if 2 people are best friends. So Shannon in Dublin, as I was traveling, I was living in London at the time, and I was traveling with 2 friends. One South African friend of mine who is from Cape Town, and another friend of mine who was also a flight attendant friend of mine whose family was from Colombia. And I usually do all the planning because I watched my father. So I'm usually the planner for where we're going to stay. I like certain amenities. I prefer to be in boutique, smaller establishments, ideally modern or eclectic or sustainable in some way. I will stay in the larger chains if need be, but ideally I like smaller boutique establishments that are modern and or sustainable. That is my aesthetic. So we traveled to Rimini, which is a small holiday town in Italy. And I found a space that wasn't far from, I think, the train station, because from Rimini we were going to take the train to Bologna, which is beautiful, and there's lots of artwork and murals and history, and the University of Bologna. It's a fantastic place, and I recommend visiting, aside from Milano and Rome. So we landed. Now, one of my friends who was South African, she traveled differently from me. And this is where it becomes pivotal to understand your friends and talk about your travel prior to traveling. She enjoyed staying in hostels, which is probably great. I never stayed in a hostel. I never plan on staying in a hostel. However, I know it is a great route for people, and she would say it's great because of who you meet and all of this. Sure, I talk to everyone. Okay, I'm gonna meet somebody anyway. I don't need to be in a hostel, okay? You can put 10 more euros onto whatever you're spending, and then I have my own room in a decent hotel with a bathroom. I choose not to stay in hostels. I don't do hostels, okay? My daddy started me off at the Marriott. I'm just going up from there, okay? Ain't doing hostels. And I let her know. Sure, for the budget that we all are comfortable with, we can stay, especially when you travel through Europe, you can stay in a nice space, okay? It is not nearly as expensive as the US. However, a local hotel or a local boutique hotel or a family-run hotel with a lovely restaurant, and you can walk to spaces, but I'm not staying in no hostel, okay? Ain't no way. It ain't happening. Ain't no way you can convince me. And she had a very high shrieking voice, and she was like, "How? We can stay in the hostel and then we'll have money for gelato." And I was like, gelato is €1. Like, I have money for a gelato. I'm not gonna stay in a hostel. However, I found a nice hotel where we can stay, and that's it. Conversation done. A hostel is essentially like a shared space. So it's inexpensive. It can be in some places 10 US a night, 10, 15, 20 US a night. Yeah, her voice was really annoying. Her voice was like shrieking. So that's a hostel. It's a shared space where travelers, backpackers stay, and you have bunk beds, and sometimes there's a shared showering space. And it is safe. It is very safe. I just don't care to have that experience, okay? And I won't. I have enough money to buy an ice cream or a gelato, and I don't need a gelato that badly. So that was the first sign. Also, let me add on to this. This is good. Well, I don't watch that. And just because you saw that, it doesn't mean that it'll happen to you. My mom watches all of that, and that's why these people are fearful. I don't watch any of that. Yeah, I talk to everyone. So, she did have this, a gelato costs €1, girl. You think, thank you. You're welcome, Andrew. You think I'm going to stay up here in a hostel with you on a bunk bed? No. I got a bunk bed at the house that I got to sleep on every night. I'm not trying to save any money to get gosh darn ice cream. Not happening. No. So, and she wouldn't do this. She would do this. Like if we went out to eat, and was a model. I don't know if she's still a model. I know she's married with children now. Beautiful, stunning woman. Went to Stellenbosch, which is a notable university in South Africa. And she majored in finance. In fact, she was a finance lecturer, which means like a finance professor, and came to the UK and had a successful career as a model. And however, she was Cape colored, which is actually like a group of people in Cape Town in South Africa, which at times are a impoverished group of people. And this is my perception that was carried out into later in life. Meaning if we went out to eat and I said, hey, could you get my meal? I'll pay it back. And she would say, sure. Let's say the meal came out to 25 pounds and 10p. And I gave her 25 pounds. She would say, you didn't give me 10p. Like 10p, 10 cents? 10 cents. However, it was rightfully hers, so I understand. With regards to money, there were elements of, I think, her upbringing. So, and she had a shrieky, like high-pitched voice. She just had a high-pitched voice. So we landed in Rimini. We checked into our hotel. We had 3 separate beds. It was a very nice hotel in the city center where you could walk, and we explored near the hotel, but we came back to rest to start the next day. Here's the thing. Myself and my other friends were already flight attendants, and we'd been into flying, I think, I don't know, several years by now, between 5 and 7 years. Also, as a traveler, I don't get up at 5 a.m. to do something, okay? And I love early morning. However, if I'm traveling, I don't plan. I definitely don't go to a travel center, tourist center, like those tourist places where you get maps and stuff. I don't do that. I had already been flying, so I know my way around. I think Google Maps was somewhat known at this time. This might have been, thank you, 2010, 2011, thank you. However, this young lady did. She enjoyed getting up at 5:15 in the morning to be downstairs at 6 a.m. to have breakfast, to be out by 7 a.m. to get to the tourist center, to acquire a map, to see the sights. All bad, all bad. I don't know what a slim bullet is, and I'm glad you love a slim bullet, but I don't know what that is. When you say bullet, I assume that that's coming out of, I don't know what that is. So if you can clarify that, that would be great. I don't know what that is. So, I already said, don't wake me up, okay? Don't you dare wake me up. Yeah, no, I don't, listen, my life when I travel is the same as my life if I'm at home. I do it on my time. I love getting up early in the morning. However, I'm not getting up that early to go get a map. A map? Yeah, that's fine. I'm all for that. Why do we need a map? I'm definitely not going to have a map out I'm not going to the tourist center. All of these things are also because as a flight attendant, I was doing this daily anyway. So getting up early to go get a map to see the sights, I'm not doing it. Don't you dare wake me up, and I'll see you when I see you, because I'm not getting up that early. However, she did. And this is where I learned to advocate for myself because my thought was to keep the peace. There's 3 of us. I'll go along with the crowd. I'll go along with everyone I'm with. No longer. No longer. So, as we're in Rimini, what's up, Romy Rome? There's another one of my travel people. We decided to take the train to go to Bologna, which was maybe 45 minutes to an hour on the train. I don't know if anyone has traveled within Italy. I like to say traveling within Italy is similar to traveling within the continent of Africa. Because oftentimes punctuality isn't highest on the scale. I don't shoot. Teams, that means there's a lot of people. I'm not traveling with that many people. No. But I understand that. I enjoy traveling on my own. And if I do travel or see people, I will meet them and then leave them because I love my space. So traveling within Italy, if you see a time where a train is supposed to depart or a ferry is supposed to depart, that time is the imagined time. It doesn't mean that's the time you're leaving. So if it says departing at 8, that's a good starting time. But it doesn't always leave at 8. It may leave at like 8:47, and these are the things that you learn. So we were taking just the local train, similar to an Amtrak, to Bologna, and we went to look at the times, and we acquired our train ticket, and we boarded the train. And the train probably left an hour after it was scheduled, but that's just Italy. That's just sometimes what happens. So we traveled, and the view to Bologna was beautiful. So when we arrived in Bologna, I think we stayed there overnight, or we might have had a day trip. The first thing I wanted to do, which is what I always do, is we rented bikes, as you do, and it was beautiful riding besides the canals and riding through the vineyards and just seeing the beauty of this different area in Italy. However, I come on here and speak a lot about my love of bikes and my love of being active. I just like being active. I love being in movement. This isn't a race. I'm not racing my friends. We're here in these beautiful rolling hill vineyards of Italy. I'm not Mario Andretti. We're not racing. However, that wasn't my friend's thought. So not the South African friends, but my other friend said, I want to try to catch up with Hope, which you really can't. However, what she did not know, as I was biking, I saw that where we were biking soon went downhill. So although we had been biking about an hour, I could see, that's about to be a downslope. Let me slow down. So as I went to slow down, because I'm seeing what's in front of me, I'm actively biking and seeing that the land that we are biking on is about to just go down into like a ravine. I'm going to hit the brakes. I've been outdoors for a long time. I can see these things. The friend didn't know. And the friend decided to say, well, then I got one up on Hope, and starts putting the pedal to the metal. I looked at this girl like, where is she go? Where is she going? Does she not see that? And baby, she was pedaling until she saw, oh, this is why Hope slowed down, and it was too late. Her butt flew down the mountain, the hill, and had to make the executive decision to hop off the bike to not fall into the stream. All the while, I'm at the top of the hill watching her, laughing. I told everyone yesterday, I'm going to laugh. Now, I'm really laughing because now I'm seeing, like, see, you're not even paying attention. This is why I slow down. If you see me slow down, there's a reason why. But you decided to pedal, and now your butt is rolling down the hill, almost into the river. She had to jump off, and she rolled on the rocks and busted up her ankles and busted. Now, see, if you would have just... And I was laughing, and that started a whole thing. Like, Hope, you're so annoying. I probably am. But I also saw what was in front of me. So I'm laughing at that too. But let's go get a Band-Aid. So I had to get off my bike, go down the little ravine and help her and help the bike out. And now she's limping. Okay, so man down, woman down. We have a fallen soldier already. We started with 3 on the bike. Now we have 2 on the bike, 1 limping, pushing the bike. Who's annoyed because I was laughing, but it was clearly funny. Who would pedal? Anyway, so now, I don't know, who are you? But all unnecessary. That's what I said. All unnecessary. So now we are walking to the pharmacy to get her a Band-Aid and some ointment because she's busted up her knee and her ankle from pedaling and rolling down the mountain. And again, none of this missed my funny bone. All of this was hilarious because I saw it and I am going to laugh. I am going to laugh. We've been friends for years and I'm going to make sure you're okay, but I'm going to laugh because you learned. So, okay. So then we acquired our Band-Aids and everything we needed to make sure she was okay. And I believe we went and had dinner. Good to see you, Jessica. And we came back. We found I am not, or I could be. However, I'm unaware if I am. Annalise Keeney. I believe we had a place in Bologna because Bologna is absolutely beautiful. The next day, the friend that wanted to get up early again got up early. I proceeded to rise at whatever time I decided to get up because I'm not going to be bullied into waking up and getting a map. And we continued to explore the city of Bologna, which is absolutely beautiful. Google it. Who was from there? It's a very notable person that's from. There's several notable people from Bologna. I don't know. She was limping, and she often, when we would travel, would get hurt and thank you and start limping. I'll share some other stories. So we said, since this is our final night in Bologna, let's go have dinner. in the city center, us three beautiful women, and have a night out. So we had met some people who told us this is where people go for an aperitivo, and then you go here for dinner and all of these things. Yeah, she's always busting something up. This isn't the first time. So we go to a place because you typically start with an aperitivo, which is just a drink before you go to dinner. You have a glass of wine or a drink. I don't drink. I no longer consume alcohol. My two friends do. So I said, I don't mind joining you. I'll have a sparkling water or some crudité. However, I don't drink. So while we're in the bar or at the space in Bologna, I was standing next to a table with a glass of red wine. And I don't know how it happened. However, I had some beautiful tailored white trousers on, and the large glass of red wine fell right on my left butt cheek with my beautiful white tailored trousers. And the whole left butt cheek, as well as down my leg, is now red from red wine. At this point, I'm ready to end the evening because my beautiful tailored, were they silk? They might have been silk. No. Were they linen? They were beautiful. Some tailored white trousers were now red from red wine that had spilled. And that means the evening is done for me. There's nothing more to do. I have red wine on white pants. I don't even drink, but I smell like a vineyard. And I've lost my appetite. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go to the hotel. And I'm done. So I went to my two friends and said, check this out, ladies. Yeah, I'm going to go because I look ridiculous. I have a big glass of red wine that is firmly implanted on my left butt cheek, as well as the rest of the left side of my trousers. And this isn't how I want to continue to represent myself for the day or the evening. And as you guessed it, they said, well, just wait, Hope. Just, good afternoon, gummy bears. Just wait, we'll leave together. I don't want to leave together. I don't want to leave together. I want to leave now, okay? And I will leave now because I have red wine on white pants. Do you understand this? And this isn't a argument. This is really a statement. And now this discussion is over because y'all can love you too, Jessica. Continue to heal. You can continue to have your aperitivos and your drinks. However, the one drink that I've had is on my white pants. And you're welcome. I'm res to go. I'm res to go. And there was continued dialogue. Just stay. It doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that bad. Do you think I believe that? Okay, Hope. I'm going back and forth in my mind and saying, well, you came together, we should leave together. Maybe this is the most compassionate gesture to do, which would be to wait for my friends, and I did. I sat in that beautiful bar with half of the left side of my pants covered in red wine. What's up? And I did not feel supported or great. So they finished a few other drinks and we continued to go different places for the evening. Because you meet people and they say, what's up, what's up, what's up? They will invite you to restaurants and things like this. Now, my demeanor was already a little off, as you would be if you had white trousers and now they're red from red wine. So it was off. And I was trying to stay in this positive space. But in reality, I wasn't even respecting myself because I did not want to be there. And I was putting that aside for the group, meaning my needs just weren't taken into, they weren't being heard. Exactly. I don't want to be there. I'm covered in red wine. I don't drink, and to be around others when you're the sober one is an experience. And where we're staying isn't far from here. It was less than a 10-minute walk. What's up, BLS? Nice to see you. However, I remembered in that moment not feeling empowered because I was going against everything I felt. I wasn't advocating for myself because I felt that the group effort was more important than what I felt, was more important than my comfort, was more important than truly being my most authentic self, which would have been to go and change and come back or say, you two stay out. And that began to build. So after that evening, there became a rift, rightfully so. I remember just not feeling that I was being heard even within our friendship. From something so simple as that. And we stayed a few more days and it just became more uncomfortable and more uncomfortable and more uncomfortable because it's three of us and there was one person that was neutral. There was me and then there was the other friend. So I would message the neutral friend about the other friend and the other friend would message the neutral friend. It just was uncomfortable. So after several days, we departed. We all still lived in London at the time. And we took the flight from Rimini back to, I think we flew out of Gatwick. Gatwick and Luton typically go to holiday destinations in the UK, whereas London Heathrow goes to all the big destinations, New York and Singapore and Dubai. Gatwick and Luton go to the local destinations or the holiday destinations, such as the Canary Islands or Mallorca or Rimini. So as we got onto the plane, now here's the other thing. My friend who was South African, for most Americans that are unaware of this, we have the privilege of being able to travel visa-free to most places. That is not the case for the bulk of people in the world. So because she had a South African passport, she had to get a visa to travel everywhere, which meant I could just say, oh, let's go to Italy and we could leave the next day. She would have to plan maybe 3 to 6 months out, because then she would have to go to the Italian consulate and get a Schengen visa, and sometimes it would be approved, other times it wouldn't be. But the ability to travel when you do not have, say, an American passport, a British passport, most European countries, a Japanese passport, it's very difficult. You can't just up and travel. You essentially have to get permission and fill out the forms, and the country can just say no. And So when we would travel, she would clear customs in a different lane because of her South African passport. However, we all traveled there, and as we're traveling back, all of us are kind of not talking to each other. And as we land, she grabs her stuff and gets off. And I'm like, where's this girl go? Does she know we're going to see her in the receival hall? Like, she was sitting right in front of me. She got her stuff and ran off like, I'm not going to see her when we go in the airport. Like, where's she going? Which was hilarious because as soon as I went into the airport, I had to get right behind her. And that changed our connection within the friendship. Simply because I didn't feel like I was being heard. She possibly didn't feel like she was being heard as well. And I do believe it somewhat damaged the connection on both ends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And this happens with traveling. I don't travel with many. Often I don't travel with anyone. Because even if you travel a lot, because I came from that profession, I know I'm particular. I'm actually very laid back. I just don't care to travel with anyone outside of my niece, and there's maybe 2 other people, 3 tops that I'll travel with. Group travel, no. I can visit you there, but as a group, we're not traveling as a group, like getting on the airplane and staying in the same room. No. I also see travel differently. I don't see it from a money standpoint. It's a time standpoint. So if a friend calls and says, hey, I see these cheap tickets, it's already not going to work. Because for me, it's actually about the highest level of comfort. The highest level of comfort in the least amount of time. So if you find a ticket that is $7 because you're making 7 connections, I'm definitely not traveling with you. Definitely, yes. Yes, it is. Absolutely. I don't care to make multiple connections. I don't care to sit in economy. And if you start with, I found cheap, it's not going to work. It just won't. It just won't. That goes back to the friend saying, if we stay in a hostel that's cheaper and we will have money for gelato, all bad, hostel, cheap, all bad. And I understand that individuals wouldn't get that because I worked on the airplane. You know, Jerome, you know, listen, my time is pivotal, meaning you got a little $7 ticket and you have 17 hours of travel compared to just getting the direct and you'll be there in 7 hours. What are we doing? We're not even going to be talking. Definitely not traveling together. What was the hit song during my senior year? I think Hot in Here from Nelly. I don't want any of that. I do not want multiple connections. I do not want a long travel day, period. The travel day can be it, but depending on your seat on the plane, your travel day is different. Okay, and I was speaking to my father about this. It's a lot different if you're getting chauffeured to the airport, if you have your own special lane, if you go into the lounge and have a nice breakfast, and then the concierge comes and takes your luggage to the gate and they say, well, how are you, Hope? And that's a lot different than I was late and I got on the bus, and then when I got to security and security was 2 hours, and then it's completely different. We can have the same travel day with a completely different experience. And the friends that I do travel with, or my nieces, they know this about me. Even in where we stay, I have said often, to me, it's not high spending. To me, it's just how I direct it's what I like. And also my dad would do this. This is how I would travel with my family. I don't know what skip lagged is, so please explain to me what that is. Oh, and ladies or gentlemen, the lounges are great places to meet people, or just to connect, or to network. I love a lounge, and it's great to get out of the general population of the airport. Listen, oftentimes when I hear individuals speak about their airport experience, it's not similar to mine, and that's okay. However, just know that we all have different experiences in the airport. So when a person says to me, I don't like flying because it's too busy, and sure, for you, but that's not me. That's not me. We don't have the same experience. And it can be a metaphor to life. We're all going through the same experience in different ways. In different ways. And again, if you're traveling internationally, a lounge pass may not be this exaggerated cost. Or the nice boutique hotel may be equal to you sharing with a friend. Now, I don't like to share. I come from a large family. I want a door. I don't want someone in the bed next to me. If we're traveling together, you have a room, I have a room. Okay? We close the door. I can see you. Goodbye. I can have some quiet time. I can have my tea. We don't need to be up giggling. We aren't 12. I even tell my sister says, you know what? I prefer to have a door. Me too. Now we can rent a suite as long as we have doors and ideally our own bathrooms. That's where I'm at now. And let me tell you, this was done early. My dad had us in the JW Marriott. Ain't no way I'm going to a hostel. However, you can find ways to make this work. And it's a different experience. When I travel, I'm not at the club. I'm not out. Oftentimes, I'm doing what I would do anyway. I may be vintage shopping. I'm definitely going to a market, a farmer's market, a fruit market. The grocery store is one of my most favorite things to do when I travel. I love people watching in the grocery store. I love just looking at the different boxes and what's available, the different vegetables, the different offerings. I love doing that. I'll often go to an art showing or a museum. I will often go to a musical performance. I like visiting local designers. Yes, record stores. It's going fantastic. Thank you. And I like doing it on my time. Thank you. Traveling to me is just being enriched with the spirit of where I am. I don't have my phone out. Oftentimes, I'm not taking pictures. I choose to be present where I am. So if you ask me for a picture, I probably won't have it. I'm just seeking to be present where I am. If you say, let's go somewhere, I got a hostel, you can stop there because it's not happening. It's not happening. I see. Yeah, that's great. Not one picture. You have the memory. If you mention multiple connections, that's good for you. I'll see you when you get there. We can have dinner. I'm not jumping on plane to plane. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And to know that is to know that we have that same travel experience, but we're experiencing it differently. We're experiencing it differently. And as I said, this is the metaphor to life. We all have the same experience and we're living it differently. And we're in it in our own different ways. Well, okay. Are you talking about who you're traveling with? Because you can learn a lot through traveling, especially through traveling with someone. And I don't have a favorite. I'm my favorite. There's something favorite in everywhere I go. There's too many places that I've been to say there's just one. No, there's places that I enjoy, but I don't have a favorite. I do have, let me think of other funny travel stories. Things always are funny during summer just because there's so many people. Yeah, thank you. Hello, Rover. It's nice to see you. So, I'm not gonna say. Oh, that was really funny when she rolled her butt down the mountain. I'm always renting a bike. That's the other thing, especially when I would have layovers in Paris. I don't know, Romy Rome, if you're still in here. Do you ever do the Vilo? It's near the. No, I don't think about any of that. Nothing scares me. I've lived a pretty colorful life. I love turbulence. I've loved it since I was a child. Yes, okay. So I speak about bikes because when I would fly, most of my layovers, I would rent a bike. And it was very easy to rent a bike. In Paris, it's almost like the city bikes. I believe it's the Velo, and you can rent the bike for the day or for the hour and bike around the city. I always recommend that. Amsterdam, I remember it was near the train station. We could rent a bike, leave our passport or exchange a passport, and we could rent a bike. Biking through Amsterdam is lovely, looking at the canals and stopping at a coffee shop and getting a stroopwafel. Yes, the Velo, and Velo means bike in French. Sometimes what's bad, you have to understand, as a career flight attendant, bad would mean like the cart fell on someone, but what the average person thinks is bad isn't bad. And I'm not afraid of turbulence, let alone anything. Yes, that's great too. Throughout Germany, I would rent a bike and bike around. I think in Buenos Aires, I would rent a bike. I love renting a bike, and I would often bring my rollerblades with me and rollerblade everywhere I would go on layovers, which is it's a great space to meet people. If you're on your skates and someone says, "Oh, look at your skates," you just meet people. I don't really search for ways to meet people. I just do, and I talk to everyone. However, seeing anywhere on a bike really brings out another element. because you can cover more space, unlike walking, which is lovely. I do remember always walking or getting up and running around the Eiffel Tower, going for my runs down the river through all of these cities. And within the US, Seattle is a great place to rent a bike and bike around. Chicago is a great place to rent a bike and bike around. Where we stayed, it was closer to Redondo, and Redondo Beach near LA is a great place to rent a bike and see the city. Hawaii, great place to rent a bike and see the city. Mexico as well. That's where I got sunburned because I was just biking all day and it was really bright. Thank you, K222. What AI roller shoes? What's up, Tavago? There ain't no AI. This is real. I love my rollerblades. I love my rollerblades. I do love to be active. That's another thing. Traveling. Okay, I'll look it up, Rashawn. Going to a yoga class or a dance class abroad when you're traveling is another beautiful element of seeing or learning a city. Because if you do go to a yoga class or just a workout class, you can meet people and even just the experience is nice. So I enjoy that. And yeah, summer travel, summer. July is quiet for me. August, September, I'll take flight again, but July is quite a thing. And yeah, bachata, samba, salsa, all of these things. Try that when you travel. Even if you don't know the language, you will pick it up. And it's almost a challenge because it is uncomfortable. However, what you learn in that experience, who you meet, and how you've challenged yourself, you will come out fulfilled. Like, wow, I did that. I did that by myself. Wow. I also love getting a manicure wherever I go because in every country, nail salons and hair salons are always the same. There's always the one person that's gossiping. There's always like the granny or the head person that's just bossing people around. There's usually someone that comes in to sell some goods. Like regardless of where you go in the world, I find that beauty salons, nail places are the same throughout the world, and it's an eclectic beauty. It's an eclectic beauty. Even if you don't know the language, you can just pick out the nail polish or point to the hairstyle and have it done. And I remember doing that, especially in Sao Paulo. I love Brazilian manicures. And yeah, well, there's a lot of great dentists and doctors that come from that part of the world. Most do. Brazilian manicures, they like paint your whole nail and then come with an orange stick and remove all of the nail polish, and it's a fantastic experience. Yes, I have, both Beijing and Hong Kong. And they are meticulous about getting all the cuticle and very bright colors. I've noticed when I travel and go to get my nails done, let's say in Brazil, it will be a lot of bright reds and oranges and pinks. You hardly will see a green or a blue. Somewhere like Paris, you will see the reds and pinks and a lot of neutrals. Maybe in Asia, you see different colors, but there's places where you wouldn't see black nail polish or green nail polish. Thank you, K222. You're welcome. And it's interesting. It's interesting and it's enlightening, and there's something that you can learn. There's something that you can experience. There's far better hand creams. Oh, I love going to Brazil and going to the beauty supply store. Oh my gosh. Same in like throughout Europe. Holland, Germany, France and getting a nice hand cream with urea, which is outlawed here in the US, and it causes like this, it gives like a silicone coating to your skin. Okay, I don't know about those, but sure, okay. That's just the beauty that I found within traveling, and the things that I love, and how I just meet people. I don't intend on going to meet people, but in my day-to-day activity, I typically do. You okay, Dad?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. There's a lot of things. Well, I don't know. I know the nail polishes in Brazil, which I have friends bring back to me, have certain chemicals that aren't approved for the US, and it keeps the polish on your hands for like ever. So I'm not sure, Casey. However, I get them anyway. And a lot of flight attendants would have lists, like if they were going to Frankfurt or Munich or places in Germany, things that they would get from like the DH. Or if you were going to France or Switzerland, there's certain things that we would always pick up. Thank you. I shared this yesterday. My energy is quite glowing and increased because I'm visiting my parents. Well, yeah, the fruits in the U. I'm not going to talk about the produce in the U.S. Not now. Yeah, even the restaurants and things are always great. For me, it was the small things that just were eclectic for that place individually. And yeah, and black rice is almost like a wild rice. Yeah, it is. That's what I love about beauty and being independently positive through all of these things. Through my friend falling off the bike and going into the ravine, through the red wine spilling on my white pants. I am having a fantastic day, Miss Frankie D, and it's wonderful to see you. Thank you. What it taught me is listen to yourself. No, not yet. Trust yourself. And find the independence in what makes you you. I know within the U.S. this is our Independence Day, but what does that mean for you? How do you allow your independence to define what is for you, what you bring to you, what you attract to you, how people see you? Do you go with the crowd, or do you advocate for yourself? Are you independently positive, or are you only positive or uplifting or optimistic when you have X amount in the bank, or when someone says you look good, or when you have your favorite shirt on, or do you just claim that? I found all of this through traveling, but also just within myself. And how that can empower us, how it can empower you. Read, drink some water, go and jump in a pool, Julia. That's what I'm about to do. So I share this to say, yes, this is summertime, it's travel time. It can be a beautiful time. Allow yourself to set up how you will feel when you get to the airport, not what the news says, what your friends saying. Quit listening to your friends. They taking cheap flights. They don't know. Whenever someone says, oh, did you hear? No, I didn't hear. And why would I listen to you? I've heard this many times, and I'll say it again. I'll also say this. My parents would agree. I don't listen to people. I listen to me, and I have my own experience. And that can open a world that can be helpful. Because someone's experience doesn't mean it's going to be mine, and vice versa. I only have fun. Someone said, what do you do for fun? Everything. My whole life is fun. What do you mean? Do I stop having fun to do everything? Everything is fun to me. When I'm drinking tea, it's fun. When I'm speaking here on live, it's fun. When I'm walking down the street, it's fun. I find joy in everything I do. If you can find the joy in the little monotonous actions of the day, it will start to add up. And how beautiful that creates the funnel for life to bring in things for you. Instead of saying, I'm only having fun if I'm with so-and-so, or I'm only having fun if I have a drink in my hand, or I'm only having fun on vacation. No, I'm having a good time in every moment. In every moment. Sometimes you gotta change it up to make it fun. Now, don't change it up too much, because I do that. And then I can be the example of that. However, you can find a way to make it the most enjoyable experience for you. And forget what other people say. As I say, people don't know. They're eating bad food, wearing bad clothes. They got bad stories. Go away. Let me create my own story for this day. I don't know what that is. You would have to clarify what that is. Tamiko. Not Tamiko, Rashawn. I don't know what a vacation is. Please specify it. I've been on beautiful getaways with people, but I don't know. Any American slang, I don't use it. So define it, and sure, I will clarify it for you. It is going fantastic. Tamiko, I am going to hop in the pool and make some food for my parents, I think. So it's been great. So yes, once you clarify whatever a vacation is, I like to ask for clarification because we all have different definitions. So once it's clarified, I can give you the response that will be most easily absorbed and understood. Yes, I understand that. However, I'm just asking for clarification, like a definition. A vacation. A vacation. Do you think, let me ask everybody, do you think I've been on a vacation? I've been to some places probably that you ain't never heard of, and I prefer it that way. You think I haven't, Casey? Of course I'm going to make the assumption and say yes. Yes. I know what it means to me. That's why I'm asking what is your definition? Hello, J-Star, and thank you. Yeah, I'm just asking for your definition. If you're asking, has someone special taken me to a beautiful place? Of course, yes, that's what I prefer. Sure. I enjoy that. So, I'm gonna close this live after this has been enjoyable. It's been a different life. Every day it's different. I'm gonna come on after I go swimming because it's quite hot, but me and my niece are gonna hop in the pool. Nice to meet you too, Sandra D, the artist. Excellent. Yeah, traveling just opens so much, and it is, I'm grateful that I had the start through my family, and then I continued it, and now I'm in a different space with traveling. However, they all miss me. That don't mean nothing. I'll still leave. Um, yeah, they've all been great. I have. They've all been great. And that's great that you'll miss me. If you continue to come to my lives, you'll know that that doesn't mean anything to me. People miss you. That's a part of it. Well, ideally it would be private now. I've already done first business, every carrier, ideally for how I see my life, I don't want anyone on my plane. I want a Global Express. That's just it. Or I like international carriers. I try to go around American carriers because they're different. If you fly on a European carrier, it's going to be different than a US based airline. Same for a South American carrier or Asian carrier or Emirati carrier. However, it's a working goal because there's nowhere else to go but to the top. So I always close with be the reflection of love, because we all come from infinite sources of love. We do. Show up. Show up. And make it look good when you show up, okay? I have some of my favorite vintage earrings. Aren't these so cute? Make it look good when you show up, but just show up because that's all you have to do. All you have to do is show up. The rest is already taken care of. That is encouraging. Thank you. One day down. Yeah, and congratulate yourself. Give yourself a hug. Write yourself a letter saying how proud you are that you made it one day. That's one day. That's huge. You saw something. Let me just say this before I close. When you see something that you want, it's a series of events. You see it in your mind. You hear it. You almost map it out in your mind. And then you may worry about it, or you may see yourself being successful. Just know that the fact that you've started the action means that you went through all of this and you got here. That's huge. That's huge. You don't think of this and 5 minutes later you do it. This might have been months or years. It's a cycle of events. And so I'm congratulating you. Do you mean ingesting them? I don't know if I would ingest psilocybin on a flight. I don't know if I would do that. Although I love psilocybin, I wouldn't want to be on a moving carrier while under that influence. However, possibly. No one's looking for that. They're looking for weapons. So, no. For me, no. However, I do enjoy the medicine that they provide. That's not for me. Maybe it's for you. Maybe there's some benefit for you. And let me know if there's benefit for you. It's medicine. I see it as medicine and I take it intentionally. So that may not be the most comfortable setting for me. You're welcome. Thank you, J-Star. I love that. Your very essence is an inspiration to us all. I'm trying. I am trying. So the fact that you've gone through one day, just know that you're halfway through. You had to dedicate yourself and say when you were going to start and make the intention. You've made so many decisions to get you to this point. You're halfway there. So congratulate yourself. Yeah, exactly. That's it. Give yourself grace, because nicotine is quite a addictive chemical, and you've done it. There's nothing else for you to do but continue to show up. If it's difficult, yeah, that's part of it. And keep going. It will get easier. And I'm proud of you. because that's what matters. Be proud of yourself in this moment. Not when you get to day 40, not when you get to day 60, not in this moment. Be proud of yourself. That's a huge feat that you're doing for yourself, for your body, for those around you. Be proud for yourself. And I'm going to leave you with that. Everyone in the live, be proud of yourself in this day. Be proud that you got up. Be proud that you drank some water. Be proud that you are here. You're continuing. You chose to show up. Be proud of yourself. It's a space of empowerment to say, I'm proud of me. I'm proud that everything that's transpired in my life got me to this point, and I'm here. And I made it. And I'm happy. And I will keep going. Because there's a confirmation there. Because when you continuously continue, you find pride in everything you do. And this is how I spoke about just finding joy. Exactly. That's what I said. It's confirmation. I take it all as confirmation. Finding joy in the little things. Finding joy in your cup of coffee. Finding joy in the walk to the kitchen. Finding joy. Not even at. Just be proud. To be 82 is a feat. Do you know how much wisdom and lessons and intellect you can share with people because you've been here 82 years? That's huge. I always say I'm living to a healthy, resilient, happy, flexible, vibrant 115. So I'm in my adolescent years. 82 ain't nothing. Be proud in this day. And know hope is proud of you. So that's it. Be the reflection of love because you come from an infinite source of love. Show up. Make it look good when you show up, because all you gotta do is show up. And be proud in this day. Be proud of yourself in this day for whatever it is. Just be proud for yourself. Thank you, Casey. Now I'm gonna go put on the smallest bikini I can and jump into the pool and enjoy my day. Okay, make some lemonade and enjoy my day. So I will come on again later today. I'm uploading because I was traveling. However, I do come on twice a day. I don't have a specific time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, be in the moment. I'm proud of you. If you miss my lives, I upload all of my lives onto my YouTube page, which is entitled Hope is Speaking. It's the same name. You can go to the tab Daily TikTok Lives, and all of my TikTok lives are there. So I'm uploading quite a few today. And if you ever need any inspiration, you could just listen to that, like similar to a podcast. So within that, enjoy the rest of the day, because the rest of the day is the best of the day. And yeah, feel proud. Feel proud. And be independently positive, meaning that positivity exists in you because it's you. Not because you have a strawberry soda or someone said, hey, they're good. Nah, feel good, feel positive within yourself. And I will see you later today. So I love you, smile, and just know I feel even better than I look. So you should too. I will see you all soon. Oh, Switzerland. You know I love a Switzerland. I love Geneva and Zurich. Okay, I have to go or I'll get lost in talking about Switzerland.